Alright, so I think that we should just jump into everything. There's a good amount of stuff that I am looking to cover on this video, so let's just jump into it. When I graduated high school, if I could give myself any piece of advice to me back then, I would probably tell myself to not worry about my hobbies as much, because I spent a lot of time thinking about my hobbies from high school and how exactly I was going to apply them to college. So, for example, I very nearly joined the JMU marching band, which is something that I'm very grateful that I did not do. I feel now that I got a lot more out of doing music through classes rather than doing the music program at EMU. And that's just one way that I think that it affected me. I just think that I could have enjoyed my college experience a lot more, especially in the first year, if I didn't worry about those kinds of things. Okay, so next I'm going to explain something that looks to be complex. So I'm going to be talking about the command line, and I'm just going to switch over to a different video now. When you think about computers, when you're not a computer person, and you think about like what hacking looks like, often you'll see like a black screen and some green text, or black screen and some white text. And the command prompt is basically what that is. And it might look pretty difficult to understand from just an outside perspective, but it's actually pretty simple to understand. So basically a command prompt is just a folder structure. So if we go into File Explorer, we can go to just all these different folders. And that's basically all this is. So this is going from C to users to the Joshua folder, and then the record viewer folder. So we can do C, we're in C right now. Then we go to users, and then we go into the Joshua folder, and we can see down here is the record viewer folder. So really it's just all a bunch of folders. And the reason that you would use the command prompt over the File Explorer is because it does allow you to do a lot more things than just the standard stuff. So for each thing that you do in the File Explorer, you have to have like a button in one of these things, or you can maybe right click on a file and you get a bit more. I actually have more experience in what's called Unix, which is the base for Linux and Apple operating systems. So I have a bit more experience in those than with the Windows one, because those are a bit more ubiquitous and used more often in different places. But it's basically all the same. So let me hit cd dot dot, and that's basically going to take us down a folder. So cd stands for change directory. So if you want to see all the contents of a directory, we can hit dir. And basically, if it has a dir right here, then that means it is another directory or another folder, basically. And anything that has these numbers, that's the size of the file. And it's an actual file. So cd is what we use to move around. The dot dot just takes us down a directory. But if we do cd into pictures, which is a file in, or which is a directory in that directory, we can switch over, hit dir. That's all the stuff in our folder, in our photos directory. So let's change over to pineapples. Let's just open photo.jpg. That sounds nice and generic. And that will just open up the photo in the default picture app that we have set up. Probst, you were talking about how you wanted to learn about the publishing industry. I don't know if this will be helpful to you now, but a YouTuber named Lindsay Ellis that I am a fan of just came out with a new book. It's called Axiom's End, and she has put up a YouTube video about the publishing industry, and Yeah, I think that she says a lot of interesting things, and you may be able to learn something from it, so I'll link that down below. And it is my turn to ask a question. So, my question is, what is something that if you had just completely lost, and you knew that you weren't going to be able to get it back, um, what is that thing that would make you the most upset or the most sad for losing, other than people or family or friends or anything like that? And why do you think that is? So the reason that I asked this question is because recently my computer's hard drive just completely failed. When I took it to the shop, they had to replace the hard drive with a completely new one, and they weren't able to get any of the data off of that hard drive. And there's a lot of data that was exclusively on that hard drive that I did not back up. I've sent it to a data recovery specialist, so hopefully they'll be able to get all of the data off of that. But if for some reason they can't, then there's stuff that I will never be able to get back from that computer. And I was trying to think of something else that would be as devastating as losing that stuff. Not that it's that devastating. The most important stuff that was on there was different documents, and there were a few programs that I spent a lot of time on that I didn't back up anywhere. Um, and so I would be really sad if I wasn't able to recover those. And the fact that I can't think of anything else that would be more devastating for me to lose makes me think that I really do value creation a lot more than I think I do. Because those are things that I've created and that I've put a lot of time and effort into. The fact that can't think of anything else other than family or friends that would be more devastating for me to lose, yeah, I mean, it just makes me think that I put a lot of just internal value onto the things that I create, even when I don't necessarily know it. And that is it. I will talk to you guys later and see you in another video.